Howdy and welcome back. We've got a drop that appeared in my feed, YouTube suggestion, and it's interesting because it comes from a channel I've never heard of before, Women Who Rock. It is a very recent interview, just from a few days back, I believe, that Melinda did with The Warning, and I think they might be in Spain. I'm not sure. Maybe it's before. No, actually, that looks like their house, so it's probably before they left. But this is the channel that she's doing this for, the Women Who Rock is the YouTube channel. It's got an amazingly small number of subscribers. It's under 200 subscribers as I'm looking at it right now. This video, when I'm looking at it, was published 10 hours ago, has like 7,000 views. So what they're making is obviously very popular. The Warning draws views, obviously, but it looks kind of looking good. I saw a YouTube short popped up with a portion of one of the questions that she asked them, and it looks like it's a really well done professional interview. I'm looking at the description of the interview, and it's done very professionally. She lists out, or whoever did this lists out all the questions that are asked, and surprisingly, since it's Women Who Rock, I figured, when I first saw this, I thought, they're probably going to ask the standard question about what sorts of struggles have you seen as a woman in rock and roll and stuff like that. And that question's on here, but it's way down. There's a lot of other stuff in here that I'm really curious to hear what their answer is and how the questions are presented to them. Anyway, before I get started on this, if you haven't seen this interview, please go over to the link that's in the description, pause this recording, go to that link, watch it, give this channel a subscription if you like the interview, for sure. Definitely like the video if you see it over there. We should give this channel more support. I mean, they're supporting The Warning, so we should support them, right? So do that. Don't depend on my reaction to be your watching of this interview. Please give the original channel a little more respect than that. Definitely. I'm liking it over there, and I'm subscribing as well. So that said, I want to get into this and with you guys and see what they have to say, and maybe we can talk about it and ask some questions and see what cool new stuff is on here, because this is a recent interview by The Warning. I'm recording this Wednesday night. They're going to be releasing a new song in a couple of days. So there you go. Oh, great. I can't remember. Automatic something now. Is it Automatic Soul? What is it? Automatic Sun. Automatic Sun, I think, is the name of the song. I haven't heard it yet. I know that there are some recordings out there. I've avoided them. I want to hear what they're going to release. I heard it's an official live. I heard that in passing in a comment. But that's weird. They've never released directly an official live before they've released a lyric video or an official music video. So I don't know what they're going to release on Friday, but I'll be here and I'll be watching it and with you guys, hopefully. Anyway, I've talked enough. Let's hear what Melinda has to say to The Warning and what she has to ask them. So here we go.
Hi, everyone. I'm Melinda from Women Who Rock, and we are really excited to be here today with The Warning. Hello.
Hey. Hi.
So we've been following your career for quite a bit at Women Who Rock, and we have just seen you totally take off. So first of all, congratulations on all of your success. What do you think has been the most exciting part of your success so far for you?
The most exciting part, I think, has been hitting the road. Honestly, it's been amazing to get out there, play our music, and just find so many people who we connect with through that and discover so many new places. And that, for me, it's been amazing.
It's interesting considering some of the direction of some of their songs on Keep Me Fed, especially some of the songs like Hell You Call a Dream, where they've said it has a lot to do with the dream aspects and the hell aspects of traveling on the road. And interesting that Danny says that, but I believe it because they've talked before about how that's what they love, is the being on the road, performances, touring. They love seeing people and performing for people. So I totally believe that. What was I going to say? I was going to say something else about the editing on this interview. It's very tight. You notice that after she finished the question, there was a slight cut before Danny started answering. It looks like whoever put this together did a really tight edit, which is good. Sometimes those of us who are hardcore fans of The Warning, we want to see all the little giggles or looks or stumbles or stutters or anything, but they've tightened it up, which is cool. We get straight to the question, straight to the answer.
I don't know, for you guys.
No, I agree. Traveling heads.
Danny, Pal, and Allie, why don't you all introduce yourselves to the Women Who Rock audience and let them know what you do in the band?
Of course. Well, together we're The Warning. I am Danny. I'm the guitar player and lead singer.
I'm Pal, and I am the drummer.
I'm Allie, and I am the bass player.
And you all are sisters, which
Yes,
is
we are. Yes, we are.
But let's go way back. And I want to know what inspired each of you to pursue this career as a musician.
So we started when we were very young. We all started playing the piano. Pal started when she was like 5. Danny was 6 or 7. I don't remember. We were really young. We all started playing piano really young. And we've always been in a very musical environment. Our parents love music. They don't play any instruments, but they just love music. And we were always listening music at our home. But it wasn't until our parents got us a video game, The Rock Band.
Oh, yeah. The Rock Band answer.
I loved playing that. Well, I was still very young, but I loved watching my sisters play all the time. Decided that she wanted to play the guitar because she always grabbed the guitar on The Rock Band, and Pal was the same with the drums. And
can I say I like how, I don't know if this was planned, but Ali taking the lead on this answer and the other two just being quiet is so unusual for The Warning, but I love it.
Eventually I picked up the bass, but I feel like that's where it all started. You know, the inspiration that we saw from this video game, that's where we started. And then we started covering our favorite bands and songs, and here we are now writing our own music. So
and playing real instruments, writing your songs, singing, what we need way more of. Let's chat about when you're in the studio and you're writing together and you're figuring out parts and arrangements. How does the dynamic work between all of you, especially because you're sisters?
Yeah, well, usually Pao starts creatively, and we just all get in a room together, and we really...
I talked about the tight edit. They're also editing out any pause or stumble during the answers. You've seen there's like 2 cuts right there in this answer. I'm not complaining. I'm just pointing it out. It's unusual for the interviews that we see to be this tightly cut, I should say. I don't know about well cut, but this tightly cut. Which, like I said, it could be a good thing because it keeps people's attentions to the interview. They don't wander, and it makes for a tight 16-minute interview, which is probably about a 30-minute, 20-something minute, 30-minute session between them, cut down to about 16 minutes, which is cool.
Have a different process for each song, I think, and each album has been different in like the eras of our band. Right now, we are very well. This album in particular, because we have a new album coming up called "Keep Me Fed." This album in particular, the process was very, very different, but we work very well together in the studio. I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, I feel like in this process, the new thing is that we were co-writing with other people. So we were in a room with people we had never met before, and we were doing this like every day. We had a new couple of people there that we had never met before. So I feel like it really strengthened our bond as not only sisters, but like songwriters. Like we had to be on the same page. We had to be a united front as a band. So I feel like it has increased our communication skills, definitely.
So the new album, it drops on June 28th. What can all of your fans expect from this album?
Wow. Okay. So definitely a new era of The Warning. We worked on this so hard last year, but it was like in between tours, there was a lot of chaotic energy going around. But like any other The Warning album, it's full of our honest music, of all of our emotions, and all of our passion.
Overall, it's just...
I'm going to go back. I want to hear that again, but I wanted to comment on that because, we as fans, the Warning Army, if you want to call it, the Warning fandom, that's what it's called, have talked a lot about this new album and the songs coming out. About some people are like, this isn't The Warning. I don't like it. I've had my nitpicks about some of the production on some of the official music videos. So in other words, some of the studio recordings, but I still think it's The Warning. I've never thought it's like, oh my God, they've changed. Well, they've evolved. They evolved all along, right? You go back and listen to Escape the Mind, 21st Century Blood, to Queen of the Murder Scene, to Error. I mean, the difference between 21st Century Blood and Error is pretty dramatic. And even from Queen of the Murder Scene and Error. So each of these albums has really moved, as Danny said, they're moving into a new era. Each one has been kind of a new era, and they're just moving into another one. So it's not something that I think we as fans should be too worried about. It's still the Warning. You know, it's still them, and the music still rocks. It's still good. It's a different approach, like she said. You know, they were doing some co-writing and collaboration that they hadn't done before. They'd done a little bit, but not this much. And it was chaotic. I like how Danny pointed that out, that they did all the writing in the middle of the big tours from last year. So it was very chaotic. And I think that's kind of what we're going to get in this album is a very different feel for The Warning and a very chaotic feel. And we're already seeing that in some of the songs. So, but again, it still sounds like The Warning to me. Like I said, my nitpicks are with some of the production choices in the studio, which obviously they approved. There's no way that got out without them saying, yep, that's cool, let's release it. So they wanted it, you know, they wanted all that distortion and all that stuff and all those weird filters and things on the vocals that I complained about in Sick. They wanted that. I didn't really complain. You know what I did? I just pointed it out. So we got to accept it. If we have faith in them as musicians and as artists, we got to have faith in what's coming, you know? So anyway, I just like how she's putting it.
Of our honest music, of all of our emotions, and all of our passion.
Overall, it's just a very fun album.
Mhm.
We try to write really fun songs. This time, we're usually like more of a, like we write more serious music, and then this album, we really just wanted to have fun. And
I like that description from Ali, because it's true. A lot of their songs have been very serious, right? A lot of the stuff on Error, 21st Century Blood, was very much about social commentary, very serious. Even though it's fun music, they wanted to be fun in this album with their topics. And that's cool.
a lot of songs, so it is overall a fun and energetic album.
We can't wait. We'll be sure to share it on Women Who Rock. And speaking of Women Who Rock, it's Women's History Month, and you are three very strong forces in the world of rock. I want to know, who are some women in the music industry who have influenced you throughout your career?
This is the one that they released the short on. And I think Danny, if I'm not mistaken, from the short, she says a lot of them, but they call out, well, you'll see.
My God, there's a lot. And, you know, I have to mention
Lizzie
her,
Hale.
'cause Lizzie Hale is all the time such a big inspiration. And she's the one who got us on tour for our first tour. Well, the first tour that we did with more people in the United States. And it was an all women led tour. We were out with Hailstorm, The Pretty Reckless, Lilith Czar, and
Wow.
ourselves. It was such an
That was such an
insane
amazing
experience.
Oh, I
really
bet.
talented. We learned
Yeah.
so much, and they all really took us on their wing. Honestly, it was so fortunate for us to live that experience, and we're so grateful to everyone in that team. One of the biggest things that happened on that tour was that
The guitar.
Lizzie gifted me a guitar.
This was all in the
instead,
short.
and that has been and is an experience that I will never forget. It was so insanely beautiful of her to feel that support. You know, I think that's the most important thing, when we women support women, and I felt so supported, and I just love her really, really, really much.
I need to know, what type of guitar did she gift you?
Oh, it's a Gibson Explorer. It's a white Gibson Explorer. It's amazing. And I played it right away. And that said, I had never played one before, so it was also really exciting to get to know the guitar. But oh my God, amazing.
Are you taking that guitar with you on tour?
Yes,
Hey, come on, Melinda. You're letting all the fans know that you haven't watched any of their live performances, like the Metropolitan Theater in 2022, where she clearly uses it in some of the songs. Melinda, come on, do your research.
I took it all over
Maybe she did. Maybe she did know that, and she's asking Danny just to get Danny's honest reaction to it and have it be in Danny's words.
the plays last year. And if I have the chance, I will again, because I have a lot of guitars and a little bit of space to travel. But yes.
Oh, that's cool
Awesome.
though. That's a new piece of information, that she's not currently touring with the Gibson Explorer because she doesn't have enough room to carry that many guitars. We know she's got the red PRS and the blue PRS, and apparently some others that she travels with now. So 2022 she toured with the the white explorer, but apparently she's not currently. I guess in 2023 to some degree as well, but not now.
I love it. I love Lizzie. We've actually interviewed her, and I think she's just such a great role model for women in the music industry. And especially, like you said, women supporting women. Sometimes, as women in the industry, it's hard to find other supportive role models and people to learn from and take advice from. And I think she's a great person. So it's so cool that you got to go on tour with her and have that special moment. How about the rest of you? Tell us who inspire you.
I would say the first band we ever toured with was an Argentinian band called Eruca Sativa, and it's made of two women.
I'm not familiar with them.
The drummer, which is a man, but it was our first time touring with women, and they're such amazing people and musicians. And I feel like we were really young when we toured with them. When we first met them, it was our first tour, and we were really young. And they're just so inspiring. They're such amazing people, and they're such amazing musicians. I feel like it's the band I look up to, like, almost the most. When
that cut kind of makes me think like I missed something. Like something was cut out that I wanted to hear Ali say, but so sometimes the cuts are a little too much. I can see that if somebody says there's way too much cutting in this interview. We like to hear the warning, try to find their words and stuff. Leave some of it in.
When touring, it was really nice to tour for the first time with women.
Great story. How about you?
I'm gonna sound a little bit cheesy, but my sisters, definitely.
Oh.
We started out doing this when we were really, really young. So we got the rock band, and we always we did hear women in rock since the very beginning. So I never thought that we were like one of the few bands, especially like in our country when we started playing in these festivals or whatever, we would be the only ones there. But I never thought, like, inside my head, this boundary didn't exist, because I had always been in an environment where that was not a notion that we lived with. When we started,
that's a really cool bit of information from Powell, from their perspective. When they started, becoming a band, they had no idea that they're anything special. And those of us who are fans have said many, many times, and I've heard it said in some interviews and some reactions and other analysis and reviews that, in fact, I don't want to quote something because I don't know who did it, but that, the warning all along, but especially now, they're not a great female band. They're not a great young band. They're just a great band. They're just great rock and roll band, period. And it's interesting that Powell was saying that's kind of how they perceive the world to begin with. They never even thought about that. And I've heard from people in Mexico that maybe more so, and I don't want to speak, I don't know, but maybe more so there, the culture is a bit more masculine in music than it is in other parts of the world. So maybe that's why she said, in Mexico when they were touring, they were the only female band. But when they reached out and or spread out to other countries, like with Hailstorm and stuff, they ran into a lot of female bands. So I don't think it's that. Maybe it's just because I'm in an area and in a country that female bands aren't a big deal. There's a lot of them, and they're cool and they're good. That they're just bands. They just happen to have females in them. But anyway, I just thought it was cool to hear her perspective that when they were young, they didn't even realize that there was anything special about having an all-girl band.
Realizing that this was the way the world was, it was just very motivating for me to see, well, I'm not doing this by myself. I have two other girls. At that point, we were girls.
Yeah.
We were tiny. That are putting in the same amount of work as I am, and who are thriving along with me. So that motivates me to keep doing the same thing, and it's very inspiring to grow together.
Yeah. Very cool answer.
How old were you when you first started recording music together?
Recording?
That was 10 years ago.
That was 10 years ago.
So I was 12.
I was 9.
Wow.
Well, it was like 14.
And you've grown so quickly. I mean, I know looking back, of course, you've all put the work in for the past 10 years, right? Nobody becomes an overnight success. And I wish more musicians would really internalize that and know the hard work, the years that it takes, right? To be crafting those songs and practicing and recording and finding your sound. That takes a long time, but you definitely have just blown up. So what do you think the key to your success has been?
I feel like it's a mixture between luck, a lot of luck,
Mhm.
and discipline. When you have the
Yeah.
discipline to be working all the time when you don't have those opportunities. So when those opportunities arrive, that it is sometimes just like the stars aligned
Yeah.
and this opportunity landed on the table and you have all the work that you've put behind it to take that opportunity and really just
Wow
like
is so right.
maximize the fruits of your labor. And
Some people, I want to interrupt there when she's saying "and," but some critics of the band, there aren't too many that you see and hear. I've seen a couple in comments on like reactions and things, but a lot of them talk about again. This isn't a lot of people, but just a lot of the critics will talk about they're just lucky. They're getting success because they're girls. They're pretty. That's why people like them. All these other things. But Powell's saying exactly the right thing. The reason that they are growing in leaps and bounds, success-wise and visibility-wise, as Melinda's pointing out, and we all know, I mean, the VMAs was a big thing for them. But the whole Error album and this new stuff coming out, the reason is because they've earned it. They're disciplined to stick with it, to struggle through it, to be creative, no matter who was watching or who was listening or who was buying, and then to just keep trying and to take advantage of opportunities, like she said. I think that's a biggie. That they were so ready, they had earned that point that they were so ready that when the opportunities arose, they were able to act on those. Right? That's so big.
it's about also gratitude is really important in these moments when you realize, because it's very easy to say like, oh, we did all the hard work and that's why we're here, but there has been so much work from so many people
And they're very humble.
let us be where we
That's a
are
big
right now.
humility is a big part of it, and they are very humble.
It is only when you have good, solid teamwork, not only with your band but with your crew, that you can really thrive.
What great advice. And I also want to know, for all of the young women watching this that just picked up
Good
her
question.
first guitar or bass or drumsticks, just wrote her first song, what advice would you all have for her, putting yourself 10 years back in those same shoes?
When we first started, we really had, this passion
wanna hear this.
for what we do. And sometimes it's so hard to learn something new, especially when, your brain and your body have to get used to, functioning like you want to get the results that you want. So it becomes a lot of hard work to, play what you want to play and sound like you want to sound. But I feel like it's very important to never lose sight of why you started in the beginning, the
Always
passion that you have
remember.
for it. And sometimes, even when you're having a hard time, to
Mhm.
stop for a second, play something that you love, have fun, and then go back to, the hard work. But
Yeah, in the middle of the hard work, remind yourself of why you're doing it. I love that. Take a break. I do that. I don't do music. But I do things that sometimes you get frustrated because it's hard work. I'm a computer programmer. I'm a software engineer. And I have had very similar things. I totally see where she's coming from, where I'll get so tied up and fed up with something I'm working on that I'm on the verge of burning out and wondering why I'm continuing to do it. But I force myself to take a break and just go do something fun with computers. Whether it's fun coding or just play a game, something that reminds me of why I do what I do and why I love the technology that I play with for a living. So I totally get that. I'm going to back up because I want to hear that whole answer just one more time.
play something that you love, have fun, and then go back to, the hard work.
Yeah.
But never lose that it's so fun.
Yeah.
Because it is.
What about some of the
Yeah.
challenges, like, and I'm sure you've heard the word no, right? When you're just
On that question, since she phrased it above as what advice would you give your younger self, I really wish I had heard the other two answer that question independently as well. And I think the answer kind of applies to all three of them, but it would have been cool to hear all three of them talk about it.
That it's so fun.
Yeah.
Because it is.
What about some of the challenges, like, and I'm sure you've heard the word no, right? When you're just starting off, how do you get past that and not take it personally? Because, being a musician, you're going to hear no so many times, but then you start hearing yes. And sometimes it just takes that one yes to unlock an opportunity to progress your career and get to that next level. So
I want to hear the answer to this question because all the documentaries and behind the scenes I've seen, I don't know that I've heard any of them talking about rejections or no's. The only thing I've ever heard them talking about is when they would basically submit their name to be an opening act, and I think Danny was describing it in an interview, and said the Allison interview, I think, and said that you put in your name, but you fully expect that they're going to say no, thank you very much, but no. So maybe that's where they get a no. But where else have they gotten no's? I mean, based on the TED Talks, they gave no's. The people coming to them and saying, we want you to work for us. We want you to do this. We want you to do that. And they're like, no. So they were in a great position to say no to people. But how many people have said no to them? I'm curious for the answer. I want to hear it.
So how did you deal with, maybe people that just weren't getting it, or maybe said, hey, this isn't for me? How did you keep going?
Perseverance is a virtue that you have to develop.
Yeah.
Especially in this industry. But more than anything, you need to have your goals very set in mind, and it is not personal. It will never be, unless it's a personal attack, obviously.
Right.
Not everyone is going to like what you do. Not everyone is going to support what you do. It's about finding the people that do.
Okay. I want to back up, but I think Pal might be talking more about how not everybody, the people who would receive their music, the fans, the audience, not all of the rejection from them not liking their work. Maybe that's what she's talking about more than not.
Not everyone is going to support what you do. It's about finding the people that do and focusing on that, because you're also going to hear no from your bandmates and from people inside your own team. It is not personal. Everyone, well, at least in your core team, everyone cares about the growth of your project and your music and your voice. So it is about taking a step back and kind of observing, taking it in, and just having your priorities straight. Because sometimes that no is you don't agree with it, and you find another way to do something. It's.
I like it. I think she is talking, as she said, more about the people, the potential audience saying no to their music, as well as she's talking about the no's within the group. Her sister saying no to her and not taking it personally. People in their extended family, their rock band family, saying no and not taking it personally because they all know that it's for the betterment of the band. I like that. I'm getting the sense that Melinda was is saying, how do you deal with people in the industry saying no, or people you try to go to a venue and they say no, or things like that. And I don't think they get a lot of that. I haven't heard about it. Have you guys heard about it? Them being rejected by industry or by, venues and things like that, where they're being told no. I don't think I've heard a lot of that. And I think that's what she's going after. But I like how Pal has turned it and said, we get no's in a general sense from potential audience members who don't like our music, and basically say no to the fact that they don't want to hear your music. They don't like your music. I like that part. And I also like how she's talking about the no's that come within the team, within the group, and how you deal with that.
It's not always I'm wrong. No. But it's just about observing the situations and really calculating what you want to do.
And I feel like when a no comes in or a yes comes in, there's a reason for it. So maybe trying to understand the workings behind it and trying to work around it is also very
adaptability.
Kind of along that same line, can you share with us, have you faced any challenges?
This was the question that I thought the whole interview would pretty much be about, but I imagine the warning's going to give a pretty cool answer to this.
Challenges being strong women in the genre of rock music?
Yes. Of course we have, especially we started out when we were really young. Apart from being women, we were kids.
Right.
So it was really hard for us to get people to take us seriously. And it was very strange for us because the way that we started, we went viral. So now we have this, we constantly had to prove ourselves to everybody that, okay, we do deserve to be here. And it's not only back then, constantly we have to do this now.
But I think everything Pal's saying right now has nothing to do with their being women. Like she said, it's more about them being young and trying to prove that they really deserve to be there.
Now, I feel like with women, so many other work areas as well, we just have to overperform. We have to cover so many.
And now she's talking
other
about what I
areas
just said she wasn't
for
talking about.
us to be considered
So
to do
ignore
bare
me.
minimum. But I feel like that's kind of a superpower as well, because you become an expert on these like little niche things that people don't expect you to know, and you can really use that to your advantage. And sometimes people's expectations are literally like on the floor. They
So
expect
low.
nothing from you. So you step on that stage and people already have like
I've heard Ali say this in another interview. How they just expect, like, who are these girls? Actually, they were all talking about it, and then Ali was the one who said that, then you play the music and they realize, oh.
this predetermined notion of
Awesome.
what you're going to be, and then you step on that stage and you're not that, and it has a higher impact. It does. You kind of have to use that to your advantage. It's kind of sad.
It is sad.
I'm
but
not saying it's cool.
But it's also, it's nice to see that change in perspective.
Yep.
And it's nice
The same answer she gave before.
that we see, like, we can sometimes see it when we change people's minds. And we're like, music is for everyone. Doesn't matter who's playing it. If it's good and
Yeah.
if you like it, then. And that's it. That's all.
That's
it
right. It's
matters.
the universal language that connects all of us together. We talked a little bit about the new album, which we're really excited about. What else do you have cooking that you can share with us?
Well, we're going on tour. We are headlining our first ever tour in Europe. Yes, we're gonna be visiting
Like I said, I this looks like it's in their house, and it was before they left. They are currently in Spain, I think.
places all over the world. We're super, super excited to hit the road with this new music and lots of rehearsals.
Sure.
We
yes.
have also a list of U.S. festivals that we're going to be playing.
Yeah.
I think we're
I saw those. They're coming out.
Great.
Aftershock.
Aftershock.
Wow.
I think probably sometimes we're not.
Guys, I got to admit it, before she's talking about the festivals. Tell me if I should go. I live in Northern California. They have a festival on their calendar now for Sacramento. That is an easy drive for me. That's not a problem. My only concern is I kind of want to see The Warning at a Warning concert. You guys who've been to festivals where they've been performing the festival, is it worth going to the festival just to see The Warning? Because that's all I would really go for. I might hang around a little while longer, but I mean, do they get enough time on stage at a festival? I know it's not going to be an hour and 45 minutes or whatever a Metropolitan Theater was for a festival, but is it enough? And I know a lot of you are going to say, if they're there for one song, it's enough. I know, I get that. But, I mean, seriously, is it worth... I want to go to a Warning concert big time. I haven't been to one. I've never been to a live concert. I want to go to one. And I don't go to concerts. I really don't. But I really want to go to one of their concerts. But I'm looking at this festival in Sacramento and I'm thinking, do I go through all the hassle of going there to see them play maybe 2 songs? I don't know what they play at a festival. Again, if you've been to one of the festivals like the one that they've got coming up in Sacramento, and they've been at that one before. So if you were at that Sacramento festival last time they were at it, how big was their set? How good was it? How good is the environment? I've never been to that venue. How good was it? Let me know, please, because I'm seriously considering it. I don't think it's sold out, and I have to make a decision pretty soon. Well, in fact, I know the festival isn't sold out because it's got a lot of tickets available. I just want to know. Let me know what you guys think. And since they were talking about it, I thought I would pipe in right there with that. So let's keep going back.
Aftershock.
Wow.
I think probably sometimes we're not very in the loop of these things, but probably we're going to have a U.S. run like around these festivals as well. And we're just very excited.
Oh, I hope
to
so.
Launch this.
That's what I hope so. If they have a U.S. run around these festivals, if they book a couple of clubs in the Northern California area around that Sacramento festival, that's where I'll go. That's where I want to go. I want to see them,
New album and start promoting it.
I hope so.
with it and
I'll
share
keep an
this
eye
new
out.
Era of our music with people in person.
We can't wait. So, where can everybody follow you? And how are you the first to know all of the tour dates and the album release? Like, do you have a fan club or a mailing list?
Yeah, you can follow us. We're The Warning Rock Band everywhere on all social media, but we do have a Patreon page where you can get
That's essentially their fan club, is the Patreon page.
information before everyone else and a lot of cool rewards.
Pre-sale links, stuff like that. So if you want to like really be on top of everything, Patreon.
Yeah. Women Who Rockers, you definitely want to be on top of all of the news and first to know. So go check out that page. Is there anything else that you want to share with us today?
Well, more than anything, thank you for listening and thank you for your time. You guys rock, and we'll see you on the road.
Yeah.
Well, again, congratulations. I think the three of you have such an amazing future ahead of you. You all have so much wisdom and you're so grounded, and I can
They
tell
are.
your work ethic is there. So don't lose sight of that. And please, any way that we can ever help, please let us know over here at Women Who Rock. And I can't wait for the new album.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much. Likewise,
Okay.
we're here for anything you need. Guys.
Awesome. Okay, ladies, we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Women Who Rock, I went to their website. They got a lot of cool stuff up there. I'm surprised it's under 200 subscribers on YouTube. Actually, I haven't looked at how many videos they have and what people would subscribe for. They've got interviews. They've got profiles. I'm looking at it in another window, another screen here. Profiles of people, of women in rock. I mean, that's their theme. So there's a lot of stuff there. I'm surprised there aren't more. Okay, they only really started posting videos about 3 years ago, so maybe that's it. But there aren't that many videos. Maybe that's why. But you could go to womenwhorock.info, which they link to on their YouTube page. That's their main website, and they have shops where you can support their efforts and support women because they put on concerts. They've got a history. They've got a concert page where they list pages of concerts going on. There was a concert just most recently, the Women Who Rock 2024 benefit concert, an evening with Melissa Etheridge. That's August 28th, 2024. Sorry. Tickets go on sale, $329. I read that wrong. Tickets are on sale right now for this thing that they're doing with Melissa Etheridge in August. But they show a history of different events that they've held in different cities across the U.S. They haven't gone outside the U.S. From 2017 on, they had a cancellation in 2020 due to COVID, but they've basically been doing every year. They did a couple in 2022, and then they've got this one coming up in 2024. So go to their YouTube page. Like I said, watch it. Hopefully you've already watched the interview, like I said in the beginning. Like it, subscribe if you want to support them, and go check out their web page. They've got some really cool stuff. So I appreciate them putting together this interview. There was some stuff that they've covered before, the Warning's covered before, but there was some new stuff in here, some new insights, which I really appreciated. So I enjoyed the interview. I hope you guys did too. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.